military army base. He was ADA, Air Defense Artillery. And that's the Patriot missile. You'll hear a lot about the Patriot missile. President Trump's been talking about the Patriot missile. And why was he forcibly removed and then his life was brutally taken from him? We're getting more and more corroborating evidence of the horror of this whole thing. And let's see if I'm on. I'm going to turn everything down. Looks like I'm on. Okay, so so he was taken forcibly, and then they took his life. You know, and we know that not because of Electra, the medium, the psychic. You know, the FBI calls them media. She said she reported it. They found some of his remains. This is what she said, that he was found, and they went and looked, and you know, but she did mention four men were sent to forcibly remove Richard and take his life from him. So, and one of them, she said, his name was Anthony. So we have now breaking news. And the reason why they went after Richard is because he's a whistleblower. Richard was Distinguished Honor Graduate from basic training in AIT. He was the fastest runner in his unit. He was a guidon bearer. He was quickly promoted 3 times with waivers. That means before he was supposed to, before his peers. He was promoted, and but he told us it was really bad what was going on. This was after the letter, after basic. You can read the letter where he's just so excited. And he joined the military because he was thinking about making it his career, and he wanted to be a CID agent, right? That's what he wanted to be, a criminal investigative division, you know, an agent. That's what he wanted to be. So, you know, he always had a keen eye for all the details going around. He was a people watcher. So, and he told us that things were really, really bad going on. And so, he was a whistleblower. He made reports. And, you know, we journal in our family, and when I heard evidence of him journaling and the journal being a big piece of the evidence, that's not surprising to us, okay, that he would collect the evidence, and or he would document what he saw. So that's it's there's been several witnesses, and then there's been multiple mediums or psychics, however you want to call them. And this, with Electra, we had to bring up again. It's, you know, this all happened in 2021, so it's been 4 years. But we have Anthony's last name now. So yeah, you can make of it what you want, but that's a breaking news. We have Anthony's full name, and more information is coming in all the time. And you know, when you hear new things like the last couple days about the crematoriums in Chihuahua, it's very important to understand that SEMAFO, which is the morgue, that do the autopsies there. We have the SEMAFO autopsy number, right? That that organization, that agency was sending bodies to this illegal, disgusting, non-refrigerated place where they were placing bodies. And the news is just now, reporting on it. And it's been going on for a while. We've known about it for a while. There's not just one, there's several. And the number is up to 300 bodies now, probably over 300 bodies now. And so we want to make it really clear that, the media in Mexico is subsidized by the state. So, they're controlled by their finances. And so, for them to even report on this and to even say anything bad about the governor of Chihuahua is an indication for everyone that uh, there is way more. This is just a tip of the iceberg. There's way more there. They're just letting you see what they absolutely have to let you see, because they can't control it anymore. The iceberg is there. They see it. Everyone sees it, and they have to report on the tip of the iceberg. But you have the whole rest of the iceberg that is in the background, is under the water, and we've been reporting on it. All anything that comes up that they should be reporting on, but the media is very, very controlled, and it is dishonest. It's very, very, very dishonest, and I think we can all agree um, on that. I think we can agree on that. It's just been proven over and over and over again. So what you're reading about the crematorium, um, and the semaphore, because they already are admitting that the semaphore sent bodies over there to be cremated and illegally, right? And it's disgusting. And they had 300 bodies, and the bodies are piled, and it's smelling and all of this stuff. Um, so I think the Governor Campos, is in big, big trouble because that's subsidizing. When Semafo is sending their bodies there, then they're paying someone to do this. And then they weren't really doing it right. They were doing animals because animals are as a lower temperature, so it's easier to cremate. And then they give families these animals the ashes from animals. And I wrote a song not too long ago um, about the ashes. I'm going to get that and play that, um, because this all was going on during the whole COVID. Of course, Richard's case, and um, hundreds of thousands of children were being trafficked. And this is another point that was made today in this discussion, and I thought it was a very good point, um, is that, you had millions of people coming across that border. And these millions now have been proven that a huge percentage of them were very criminal. And so when they're migrating with a group or whatever, it gets very ugly, and people die. People absolutely die. And so it's going to be coming out, who are all these bodies at this crematorium? And is it these migrants? Is it, were dog tags found? Were dog tags found among these individuals? these bodies, um, was that a place to silence your enemies? You know, uh, so it's, and Marco Rubio is all over this, y'all. Okay, he is the Secretary of State in the Trump administration, the Department of State. So this is really his ball game because it's this international crossing the borders. The risk to our nation, our security is huge because the what's going on in Mexico right now is like wild, wild west, And if you have breach security, and we know what's going on in El Paso, it's breach security, an illegal that's allowed to be the medical examiner, right? And unqualified. Then you have judges on the MAG court that are illegal. They have uh, no authority. They're not even judges, really. They can't be even judges sitting on that MAG court like that because they're not elected. They're not elected. And that MAG court being 100% um, with jurisdiction, they have to, one of the checks and balances in this country is that when you have a court that is that powerful with 100% jurisdiction over the county, uh, that they absolutely uh, have to let the people vote and decide through an election who are their judges. And that's really important. And that has not happened since 2015, since that court has been made with full jurisdiction. They have not allowed an election. So this is fake judges, a fake medical examiner, fake judges. And we know in the DA's office, we have two DAs in a row, Bill Hicks and James 2028 Stamp Montoya, that were fake DAs. They weren't legitimate. So I'm burning the midnight oil, y'all, and it's almost 1 o'clock. It's been a busy day. So if I absolutely fake, I'm going to stay on target here. Fake medical examiner, fake judges, fake DA. Now we have a fake El Paso ISD police chief, which is a very, very big deal in El Paso because of the task force. Because it's on a border, this is what we've learned. The El Paso ISD police force, which you would only think would be wanting to protect children, right? Keep children safe, have developed over the years into something very, very big because of the task forces, okay? The task forces that include the schools and the border and everything. And we know that there are schools that have tunnels underneath them. And it's getting corroborated that this is why they are protecting the schools, not really from for health and safety and for what's right, but no, they're protecting those schools to protect the criminal trafficking network that's happening underground through the tunnels. That's what's going on. And because of these task force, they have a lot of power. They have a lot of power over um, in what's happening, especially maybe when they find remains, right? They have a lot of power. So I put that up there, and so getting all this information for us, it's so heartbreaking that we have to go through this like this, and be put through this. Um, but the answers are coming out, and I want everyone to know that we're so grateful for everybody that has shared, that comes on, because things are getting very, very close. They're honing in to Richard's remains. That's what's happening. And you have you have Marco Rubio leading this investigation, and it's really exposing so much, isn't it? So much wickedness when it comes to this crematorium, and the semaphore, or even God forbid if uh, funeral homes were sending bodies there to be cremated, right? It just would be heartbreaking, because um, we know that the criminal group in Richard's case have absolutely been tied to uh, funeral homes, right? Funeral homes and autopsies. And you have to remember that Mario Raskin Ortiz, the chief medical examiner, is related and has uh, relations on Bliss Avenue with Danae Katzen, with the Ortegas, the Rochas, um, you know, and I don't want to name all the names right now, but that is connected to Bliss Avenue. And they're absolutely in the funeral business. And um, and then the medical business. There's a lot that's in the medical business. So it's all fitting together, how this all um, how this all happened and how the cover up happened. So we are very we're so grateful for the whistleblowers. We're so grateful for the psychics and the mediums that made us think outside the box, because we would have never dreamed it, um, that our um, leadership could be traitors like that. We didn't think that could happen, but it did. So yeah, everything is coming together. And when I'm talking about that, I mean recovering Richard's remains. That's what I'm talking about. So thank you so much. There's just so much going on, and I'll try to get on sometime in the afternoon tomorrow, because the pace of this is incredible. I mean, just think of it. We have to go back 4 years to you know uh, tell people what has been corroborated, to say, wait a minute, this is important. This was an important event, just like Nadal Baim, just like Judge Roger Rodriguez. I don't know if it's just like Judge Roger Rodriguez, because his whistleblowing in this case is huge. But it is very important. It really does corroborate everything that we have said. So we're getting very close. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anicia, for coming on. Thank you, Danielle, for coming on. Yeah, the big breaking news is she mentioned an Anthony, and now we have his name. We have his name. And just read between the lines of what we post. And please share it. Please share it, because we are a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And that's why they want your vote so bad. That's why they want everything so bad. Yeah, it is really a very a powerful situation that we're in. So, and we have a lot of responsibility. So we want to thank you so much for sharing that, sharing all of this story all the time, and doing your own searches and alerting us to news stories. That's very important. Um, and we just want to thank you so much. God bless you, and I will be back tomorrow.